Hey guys, so I just want to go over the paleo diet. It's also known as the ancestral diet, the wild diet, or the Paleolithic diet. It's basically where you're going to be eating food that humans have evolved to eat and are well adapted to eat. And this is food where you can imagine if you went out into the wild right now, if you went into a forest somewhere, what sort of food you'd be able to eat. And this is the sort of food where our bodies have actually evolved over the course of hundreds of thousands of years to be well suited to eat these foods, and this is why if you eat this way, you will actually perform the best and you will feel the best, and that's because it's the type of food that your body is designed to eat. Now, if you went into the forest, if you were out in the plains of Africa, what types of food would you be able to eat? The majority would be vegetables, wild leaves and greens, and then the next plentiful would be animals. And humans eventually adapted to eating various types of animals, and they would eat the whole animal from head to toe. They'd eat all the fat, all the organs, even eating the bone marrow and cracking the bone marrow and eating all the fat within the bone marrow. But if from a very simple perspective, everything that you could hunt and gather is the type of food that you would be eating on a strict Paleolithic diet. So all of the food, you could think of whole cuts of meat, vegetables, fruits, tubers, everything that you can imagine. If you go to a grocery store, everything that's on the outside of the grocery store, everything that's fresh, everything that you could imagine obtaining from the natural environment if you were to be out in the wild right now. So that's the very basics of the Paleolithic diet, and so that's the inclusive stuff. That's the stuff that you will focus on, and as important is the stuff that you remove from your diet and stop eating, and that's the stuff that for the most part has been manufactured within the last few hundred years. That's your processed vegetable oil, a lot of processed carbohydrates like breads, grains, cereals, sugars, obviously, almost everything that's in a wrapper, everything that's got a whole bunch of added chemicals to it that keeps it preserved. None of that's really good for you. And then, so that's like the main thing you need to remove from your diet. And then the next thing is the legumes. You got your beans, lentils, kidney beans, peanuts. Those things aren't nearly as bad for you as the grains, but they'll still have chemicals in them that will irritate your stomach and make you have inflammation and won't be particularly good for you. The next thing if you're in strict paleo, you then remove all dairy, because about 60% of the population can actually not digest dairy because they haven't evolved the adaptation to be able to digest it. So if you're starting off paleo, you're going to want to be strict and remove all grains, all dairy, and all legumes. And once you've done that for maybe 1 or 2 months and gotten acclimatized to eating the paleo way, then you can start to reintroduce, if you want, some dairy products and some legumes, and see how your body reacts to it. If you are partially adapted or fully adapted, you won't feel any negative repercussions from that, and then some people will. So at the very basics for a Paleolithic diet, you want to eat whole natural food that you'd find in the natural environment, and you want to remove any of the processed foods that are now pretty much mainstream food for most people. That's the grains, legumes, and dairy. That's paleo in a nutshell.